Welcome back to the Counter-Strike Casuals podcast, episode 78. Bloody hell. Soon we'll be at 100, and then what do we do? Nothing. Just celebrate. I don't know. Go to the pub.
We'll do a big giveaway. Let's see how the views go, and maybe we'll do a big giveaway.
Yeah, well, our last giveaway was quite good, actually. Well, everyone should be honoured, really, that you're on, because you're a Manchester United fan, and Manchester United are playing right now in the Europa League final. So, I mean,
that is actual madness.
I say United fan loosely. I mean, you're probably similar to me, I think, in terms, well, maybe less even than me, maybe, but you're quite low down the careometer of football, aren't you? To be fair, so.
Yeah, it's strange, really. Like, a lot of my friends are really into football, and those that listen to the podcast regularly know that I work in the building trade, and a lot of tradies that I'm working with today. I was working in Manchester City Centre, so everyone's talking about the football all the time. You know, everyone's so excited about it. There's people drinking beers, and to be fair, I was kind of getting in the mood to watch it, but I watched the first half with my son. But you know me, mate. I'm dedicated to the podcast, so
dedicated to the CS, mate.
After this, yeah.
Why would you bother with a once a year final, or probably even longer? Well, I don't know. You feel like United were in Europa League final when you could be chatting about IEM Dallas that you've barely even watched? Hey,
mate, win or lose, a week later, no one's gonna really think about United anyway. So.
I actually got invited to the pub by my United friend. You probably guess who lives down here. And I was just like, nah, mate, I'm He's like, where are you gonna watch it then? I was like, recording a podcast, mate. I'm watching it. I actually think they're losing it at this time of recording anyway. I think it's 1-0.
It is like people think that you're just watching it. They just take it for granted. Just like, oh, where you watching?
Yeah.
Like you have to watch it. Like everybody's watching it in the world.
Yeah, no. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's. You're lagging a tiny bit, but it's all right. We'll run the intro and then we'll get to some CS chat, shall we?
Let's do it.
Whilst I say that, have I just lost my intro? It's okay.
How'd you lose the intro?
I had it up, and then I think I was like, I'm a stickler for having too much open. Like, you've seen my desktop, there's nothing on my desktop other than the recycle bin, and I hate having too much stuff open.
Can I just give you a shout out, and kind of both of us? We do this, just us two. No production, no one behind the scenes, no one helping out, no one doing thumbnails, no one doing the intro stuff for us. We do everything.
Yeah. Fair play.
We need to give ourselves a pat on the back, man. We do a pretty good job.
And we sacrifice a night of gaming because we get clearance from the wives that we could do this, and we don't even fucking game. I mean, this is insane. All right, let's run the intro. Okay, let's get straight into Dallas, okay? Because S1mple was back and made his long-awaited debut back with FaZe, or his return back. Sorry, not debut. Now, I watched a bit of Liquid FaZe, and I hate to say it, it was a bit inconsistent from the map I watched. I watched Ancient, and from the limited bits I saw, he was like hitting some shots, missing some. There was a couple of things I saw where Ultimate kind of actually got the better of him, which was a bit painful, if I'm honest. However, he came out of the series as the best, the top rated player on FaZe, which is mate. And I saw some tweets about how there was like 800,000 people. Remember, 800,000 people that were watching that game, which is 800,000 was like the peak or something. That's what? Mental. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or if I made that up. I swear I saw a tweet about that.
That is insane. That is crazy. If that's
culture
true.
Impact at an all-time.
It is on at a really good time. I do quite like these games because it's on in the evening.
I do. I prefer it. Yeah, you can put it on while you're doing stuff like I'm trying to get the house tidy, sort the kids out. Yeah, so it's actually a lot better. This I prefer this than like 9 AM on a Tuesday. It's just I'm at work. Like, what can you do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I haven't watched loads. I have had it on, but I've been so busy this week, it's ridiculous. So I've kind of had it on in the background to doing things. So I've seen bits, and I think it's fairly promising. To be honest, he's inconsistent, which is what I think a lot of people, including us, have said. Sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm pretty sure we said that he's going to be inconsistent because
Yeah,
he's not played for a long time.
not at this
Uh,
level.
I do think it is a positive. After the first two games they played, bear in mind the second game was against BC game.
BC.
Yeah, he put up a rating of 1.63 against them, and he was in the top 10 of the stats top players of the tournament after the second game. But he has just had an awful game, and they have been knocked out
Yeah, they're
by
out.
Heroic.
Heroic. I know.
And
And I
his
thought,
rating was 0.85. Now, I don't just want to read stats out. I'd rather give an in-depth review of how he played. But I'll be honest, like I say, I had it on in the background and I could hear his name quite a lot, but I didn't watch loads, and I don't. I didn't expect him to like blow us out the water. So I do think it is promising that he was the top rated player for both maps, two maps, but two series. Sorry. But
yeah,
how do you feel being a FaZe fan? Like, are you optimistic? I mean, they didn't have rain either, so that's
yeah. I
kind of
think, I think that,
another positive.
I think that's it. They had the stand in, they had Skulls, who, I think you just got to give it a bit of a pass. It's actually, if I'm honest, it's quite good that if Rain was going to have his baby or his wife was going to have his baby and he was going to be out at any time, they had a stand in. It was now, right? So it's not the major, and you can almost take this as like a test run, a little like practice
Yeah,
run, which is quite
I mean,
good.
fair play. Rain timed it quite well, didn't he?
He did, mate. He's Rain just always efficient, isn't he? Who's Mr. Reliable, Rain.
Yeah.
um, but I think it was exciting. I think he, for me, again, because like you said, it's very hard in our position as the casuals to sit down and really analyze every round and watch every round. Like I rarely have that capability in my life to be able to focus on every single round. Like I'm often almost trying to steal a watch or steal a view on the games. So I'm like quickly having a look whilst I'm doing stuff. Um, and the one thing I was looking out for was just like the vibe check type thing, which is my main concern with him, is whether he was just going to bring the vibe down and tilt. But genuinely, like whenever I saw him maybe get lose a duel against Ultimate or miss a shot, he didn't actually look that tilted. And I think he came out with an interview and a tweet and quite positive. Like I think he's enjoying it. I think he's enjoying being back in that kind of atmosphere. And I think probably also with a team like FaZe, that feeling and the people they've got, the Carragans, Frozens, and Rain, there's probably such a nicer atmosphere than when he was standing in at Falcons with Snappy and co, because they were like hating life at that point, weren't they? All just everyone was gunning for them. So I think he's enjoying it, and I think that's quite important. And look, I don't think they're gonna, get to the final of the major, which is what I predicted when Elise joined. But I think they might surprise us a bit. They might surprise us a bit and get.
I think it's a better chance than keeping Brokey, to be honest. I mean, I don't like saying that because everyone loves Brokey, but I do think they have improved, which basically, in a nutshell, is what it comes down to, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's all business, and I do think they could be better short term. Long term, I don't know, because like you say, s1mple does seem quite chill at the minute. He seems quite optimistic. I I think he's gonna be um maybe. I think he's been humbled about this whole experience of his last year, maybe. I think he's been humbled slightly, and I think also being in a team like FaZe with big names such as Carrigan and Rain, I don't think he would get too big for his boots as he could do with a younger roster or a team of Russian-speaking players, because I don't think he'd play for Russian players, but maybe
No.
Ukrainian players. I feel like he'd be a bit more toxic. I don't know why, but I just maybe people feel a bit more comfortable with people from their own nationality.
Yeah.
and I think he could be a little bit more toxic in that environment. So I think with FaZe, he could. I could see him playing for them, and I could see them doing pretty well, especially with Rain on the roster. Um, Skulls didn't have a great run this tournament. He was like the bottom rated player pretty much every single tournament. So they've it's not a true viewing of FaZe. Them doing well against BC Game, which I watched a bit of, was quite optimistic because they did pretty much dominate them, especially on Anubis, which they should do, right?
Yeah.
So that was like, right, okay, I'm seeing what I should see from FaZe here. Heroic, I've had it on tonight, just in the background sort of thing.
I'm
Um,
quite shocked actually by that.
Heroic are a good team.
They
I
are,
think
they are, but
Heroic Heroic have been this for a while with different rosters as well. They've kind of been a good underdog team. They are
yeah.
better than what people think. If FaZe beat Heroic, I would have been saying, this looks good for them. With them losing, I don't want to take too much into it, but it doesn't look too good. But I think S1mple does fit in better than I expected.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only other, so anything else to add to S1mple or FaZe? We'll just see how that goes.
No, I just kind of wanted your view on, are they better? Obviously it's hard to say with Skulls there, but do you think it's going to be a better roster
I actually think it
than
is.
with Broke?
I think it is, but I want to be positive about it because I want them to be competitive. I want S1mple to come back. You want Donk, S1mple, Saiwu. That's fun, isn't it? Like the
And it
scene.
is exciting having S1mple back on the scene,
It
and
is.
he is an exciting player. He's probably one of the most exciting players, if not the most exciting player that we've had in Counter Strike. And it still seems like he is, even though he's a couple of years older. He has been humbled a little bit. We have all these young dogs. We've got the S1mple flick back. We've got the S1mple rounds. S1mple getting a 3K.
Yeah.
We're getting all that again, so it is exciting. I think anything like having S1mple on the CS scene is a positive.
The way his mechanics with the AWP do actually feel different to other people.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think watching him, I didn't know how it would cross over to CS2 because I know he's played a little bit, but not much. And I kind of thought his open style wouldn't work in CS2,
yeah,
and it is kind of a breath of fresh air to see that it kind of does. I would say I've not watched enough of him to see what his rifling's like, but I think he needs to be good on the rifle. I think all AWPers in CS2 need to be very good on the rifle as well. Um, I'm sure he will be, but yeah, I think that is very important for AWPers these days.
yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. The only other team that I really watched, or other game, was Vitality Gamer Legion. I don't want to go too much into Dallas because we could just end up rolling off results, but and it's kind of, let's discuss it maybe towards the end when full placings are results. But I watched Vitality Gamer Legion. I watched the first map, Mirage, which actually was 13-9, closer than I thought it'd be, but Vitality still just looked pretty
Yeah,
good. I mean,
they seem chill. Like this,
yeah,
that game to me was like they're not really trying. They were struggling a little bit, and then they're like, "Okay, guys, we better fucking shift to
get
third
on with
gear."
this. Yeah, it did feel a bit like that. Like, I don't know, they were uh
I think they're getting bored.
imagine. Well, again,
I think.
imagine they win this and then they win this, like, and then they win the major. It could
What if
happen.
they win this and then don't win the major?
I know, but they won the Grand Slam. Yeah, that'd be a shame. If they win, I mean, I want them to win the major. I think it really would be good just to cement an era. Do that, and then FaZe sort it out, sign S1mple properly, and then come back and win everything. The Vitality have got the Mongols next, which I can't work out if that's tonight at midnight. Midnight or tomorrow, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, other than that, I haven't watched much more. I had a chance to. I'd like to watch some more.
It is tonight, 2.5 hours.
Okay, cool. That's exciting. Mouse Falcons is on soon, so some really cool matchups actually today. Any early predictions on who or what you think will be? I mean, I think we both might say Vitality in the final, but who with? Could it be
Falcons.
really? So it's just going to be yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't disagree.
I mean, I've done my fantasy team around Falcons and Vitality going to the finals again, which are obviously the two favourites. Mouse could do it. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
writing
say
them off.
not Mouse. You don't want a Mouse, and they've won pretty comfortably. They've not dropped a map yet.
HooXi's been playing well. I did have them on in the background again, and I heard a lot of hype around Torzy.
Yep.
That just, I mean, they could win, but I do think Falcons are just the better team. But only just.
Mouse
But I
just
do
don't
think,
seem to have that killer instinct, do they? That's the big issue.
yeah, they need,
Still not
yeah,
quite got it. I mean, Spinks coming in, you thought it might have added it a bit after that one little win that they had, but I don't know. There's something still missing. Something, just that killer instinct, that Nico factor or something, Monacy factor. So.
I mean, Falcons have Nico and Monacy, right? That both kind of bring that finesse, that kind of the little bit of those rounds where it's 2 against 5 and Monacy gets a 3K and they end up winning the round. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those guys can do that, but
I agree. Anything else you want to talk about on Dallas, or can we move on?
Not really, mate. I was gonna mention Falcons and that Kaisuke.
Okay.
Is there any updates on that? I know you've not got it on the notes, but do you have?
I haven't seen anything other than it just seems to be on other podcasts and other things. People seem pretty adamant it's going to happen, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything.
Usually that means it is going to happen.
When there's this
right?
much discussion around it, usually it is just going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I think is depending how you look at it. Some people might say, "Oh, it's Falcons buying everything up," or just fair enough. But also, you want to see that guy. If he's as good as everyone says, I want to see him out there, not on an academy team. So it is what it is,
Yeah, but would you not rather see him on a different team? Like, imagine if he went to someone like FaZe, or
yeah, it'd be cool. But clearly, no one else is doing it or can afford it or something. So might as well get him out there to see what he's really like,
I think
rather than just sat on Spirit Academy. God.
Like Vitality at the minute are pretty dominant, and I'm a little bit like, right, okay, like this tournament, oh, it's going to be Vitality, it's going to be Falcons or Mouse, and for me, it's a little bit boring. I like it to be, I like there to be a top team, but I like there to be a bit of a rivalry. I like it to be like, oh, I don't know who's going to win. If they get Kaisuke, I imagine adding Donk to Falcons now with Monacy and Nico.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
It's just written off. Like everyone else just might as well give up. What's the point in you trying to build a roster to win anything? You just enter tournaments that they're not in, basically. That's what people are going to have to do.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want to see him, like I said, I don't want to see him in academy jail or whatever, just sat there playing for Spirit Academy, never getting the team.
He won't do. He's going to get picked up 100%. But now Falcons are this massive organisation that are just literally buying whoever they want. Literally buy the best rifler in the world, the best AWPer.
I think they had a pretty good esports. They've won stuff before, haven't they? I think they've got a good. I don't know what other sports they've got, but I'm pretty sure they've won. I don't know. I don't want to see Rocket League or Valorant or something.
But that means nothing to me. That's because they're just gonna buy players, the best players. That's all they're gonna do in any esports, right? So they're gonna win everything. And to me, again, that's also boring. They're just going around all the esports buying all the best players. It's like,
well, is it not a good storyline or quite interesting then if Vitality can continue to beat them and hold on to?
Not really. If it just shuts everybody else out. And it's only a matter of time before Vitality can't afford to, or their players are getting older, and Falcons just will not. Just going to buy you.
I'm not disagreeing with you. In an ideal world, he'd just go onto the Spirit main team. So, and then that would make Spirit.
If he went to Spirit, that'd be exciting because then it'd be Vitality, Spirit, and Falcons. We've got 3
That's what
teams
I mean. Yeah.
that could dominate. So I'd be happy with that. Pretty much anyone other than Vitality or Falcons would be interesting. If he went to Mouse or if he went to, like I say, FaZe or someone, that would be interesting. But when Falcons want someone, it's like they're gonna get him because money talks.
GG. Well, look, while we're on the loose topic of Spirit and Spirit Academy, at least Kaiosuke at Spirit Academy, let's talk about PGL Astana very quickly. I just want to touch on this because it's been and gone, and the one thing I Spirit won it, fine, kind of as expected, but the revival of Astralis and Astralis reaching a final under their new leader HooXi. I mean, how do we feel about that? And I know I've jumped about a bit on the notes, but I just thought whilst we're on the topic of Spirit Academy and Spirit,
No, I think it's something I wanted to talk about as well. And
how do we feel?
Excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I am excited for Astralis, which is a weird kind of feeling because I didn't know I would feel like that about Astralis, but I do want them to come back. I do want them to do well.
I know what you mean.
The org has been a
They're
little bit
idiots. They're ran by idiots. Yeah. So it's quite funny to see. I know we can't get too carried away. Of course, it's one tournament. It's one little run in arguably a pretty low.
They took a convincing map off Spirit as well. Like Mirage is.
Yeah, you would expect.
Like Spirit are one of the best teams in the world at Mirage, and Astralis like dicks them.
Yeah, and I just think, I want them to do well for Stare and Device, because Device is a legend and Stare deserves it because that guy just seems to be pretty consistent. And
what about HooXi?
Yeah. Anyone other than Stown and Yabby, I guess, just because they are still little snakes in the grass. Yeah, I think for HooXi as well, it's nice. I think HooXi deserves. It's interesting though, isn't it? Because when HooXi was at G2 and everyone was gunning for him, like all the talent, all the casters, all you should leave. Like people were hating HooXi. And it's so funny how everyone's now done a U-turn and they're like, oh my god, HooXi's it's really good to see him back. Like, we never said he was a bad RGL. We just said he wasn't right at G2, which is fine, I get it, but it's so transparent that it's just because it was, like, perceived to be holding back their favoured child of Nico. It's just so boringly obvious. Just because Nico is at G2, that, oh my god, we know HooXi's so bad.
I was just going to say, isn't it strange how...
They love him now, fucking hell.
In sports and esports, we kind of decide who we're going to use as the scapegoat. Like, sometimes it's going to be the star player, sometimes it's going to be the supporting players, sometimes it's going to be the in-game leaders or the managers or the coaches. And HooXi did get a bad rap, and... he didn't do that bad with them, but I guess they just wanted more. And
yeah, I think they just expected to win. Go on, sorry.
Sometimes things just don't fit, and like Brokey, for example, we just we've just seen him get rid of just being removed from FaZe or benched, and nobody was like, "Oh, Brokey's shit." Nobody's really said that, but they do need a change. Yeah, they do need a change. And I think maybe there's still more changes that FaZe needs to do. I'm not saying. I've said before, Carrigan should go, and I don't think Carrigan's a bad in-game leader at all. I said
he's the best in-game leader.
Should go.
You did call the Rops one actually, and that was I didn't actually agree with at the time. I think I said Brokey.
But yeah, and I said like Robs is a good player, and I think he will probably play better. He'll probably play just as good somewhere else, if not better, and he's obviously played really well. But back to Astralis.
Well, no, just before that, like, I don't know if you're actually just rage baiting me, but Carrigan's more than just a really good IGL. It's insane. He's the GOAT IGL.
Out of everything I say, you pick up on that. Right, he is a good in-game leader.
He's a good in-game.
I do think FaZe, or maybe Carrigan, like, you could go either way. Like, you could say Carrigan needs to change, or you could say FaZe need a change. He could go somewhere else and do really, really well. FaZe could start to do really, really well if he left. Obviously, nobody knows for sure, but FaZe aren't performing as well as they should do.
Absolutely.
Let's see how they go when Rain's back. That'd be interesting. We've done a full circle here, haven't we?
Yeah. Sorry, back to Astralis. You were going to say something.
Yeah, HooXi's clearly been working on his own individual form, which for me is good, but it's also a little bit sad at the same time because he seems like the type of guy that takes everything personal, and with everyone slating him, he's took it to heart and thought, oh, I need to be a better individual player and I need to frag harder. And I can't remember which games it was, but he had some games where he was playing out of his mind. Like he was he was like the top rated player for some maps. I can't remember who it was against, but I think them getting to this final and taking a convincing map off Spirit is a really good sign. I don't think they're going to do too much. Kind of touching on what we just talked about with Vitality at the state they're at, Spirit and Falcons and even Mouse. Like those guys are pretty set top four teams. Like nobody's gonna really beat them outside of the top four. Like they're all just battling against each other, but they could easily break the top 10. I don't know where they're rated at the minute. To be fair, they are 12th. So yeah, 12th world rankings, 11 on the Valve. They could easily break the top 10, and they could be a very, very good team. I do think they lack a star player. I know we talk about Star, but nobody really rates him as a star player, and he is. He's good, but they need, like we talked about a minute ago with who were we talking about when we said they need that killer mouse.
Mouse, yeah,
Yeah, Astralis need that. Astralis need that. That's all.
yeah.
That just one away from
It's meant to,
being a very good team.
it's not Device anymore. He's too past it. He's serviceable with what it in a team. If you've got a good IGL, you've got a stare and that, but you need someone to really take control and top that leaderboard like consistently 80% of the games, don't you? And Device is just, it might be time, but then there's if Astralis are all staying Danish as they want to, which is fair enough. I don't know who's out there, I don't know, but
Blame off.
well, yeah. I mean, how's he getting on at Fnatic now? I feel like we're not seeing much or hearing much of them anymore.
So talking about Danish players and this roster, Shush had a sick tournament. Can I just shout out Nip as well, because they've been on an absolute roll and they've had such a good tournament, and I was really excited to watch them at Astana, and they didn't disappoint. And Shush is just an absolute legend. He's got a new haircut and everybody's loving it. So those guys have really climbed the roster, really climbed the VRS. They've been doing well, and fair play to them.
Yeah, that's good to see
also,
as well.
Also, Navi didn't win another tournament.
Yeah. We've gone over Navi enough. Okay. Anything else to say about Astralis and Astana? Spirit won pretty convincingly. I think that was pretty predictable. The only thing I would say is, did you? I don't know if you saw all the pictures of Spirit and all the interviews. Like they just don't. Other than Magic's, like they just don't give any charisma or any like. They don't even
look. Do you think he does? He fucking hates interviews. He hates
who?
Like Magic.
Yeah, but he likes it better than Donk. Donk just goes, I don't care. That's what he said at the end. I don't care. Magic's like threw confetti over him, like joke. He's got more. He's got the most. He's got the most personality out of all of them. So that's saying something. They're so like, I don't know. Donk's.
I think it's maybe Shiro.
Mate, all I know is they're just like. In a way, I would like to see a bit more personality from them for a bit of joy. I just think, why not? Like, you don't have to be this Donk in the interview afterwards, just like, I don't care. So, all right, cool, great, see ya.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Like we're in industry of gamers where people are good because they sit in a room on their own playing a video game. Like they're not very what's the word?
Charismatic.
Yeah, they're not charismatic.
I don't know.
They're not really social. They don't really talk to people, and we can't get everything from everyone. Like Donk's probably spent more than half his life sat playing a video game, like the same video
True.
game.
True.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, these guys aren't playing like a bit of different video games. They're playing Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I wanted to point out that Madden and Dupree are finally actually released from Malcolm's Falcons. I forgot about Madden. Not gonna lie, I completely forgot about.
Yeah, there are certain players that you just forget about and just forget they exist. Like,
Mate,
do you
there's
remember
someone
how
else
we
I forgot about. Yeah, go on.
G2? G2 just don't even get spoke about.
Well, G2 are like annoying because I like Malbs, I like Heavy God, and yeah, G2 could potentially be a really strong team, couldn't it? And it's just anyway.
How are they so shit?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just
Anyway,
frustrating.
we're going off track. Who did you forget about, mate?
Madden.
Yeah,
Madden.
He's kind of he's a good player as well. Like,
I know.
This team's benching players, man.
Mate, I just don't know, where does Madden go, and what happens to Dupree? Like,
he's getting on a bit. He's fell off a cliff. You think he's the best player that's ever played Counter-Strike, which is ridiculous. Where could Dupree go? Not a top 10 team.
Or is it time for Dupree to hang up his mouse and just focus on because he's been doing some of this analytical work, isn't he, for tournaments, and he's not that bad at it, you know.
Yeah, he could do that, to be fair. He's a dad now too. Well, he's been a dad for a while, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's got two.
He could in-game lead, or he could, yeah.
I don't know about Dupree. I kind of feel like he's done everything, and I almost feel like I'd rather see him go to the analyst desk and focus on that than actually just slump and fail at somewhere like, I don't know, a Fnatic, like, you know, or someone, I don't know where do people go to die nowadays. But Madden, Madden is just, I can't believe he slipped my mind so much. I mean, I don't know where he goes, or like what does he do? Where would be a good place for him to go? It makes like,
Madden's like he's like a scrappy player. He likes, he likes to, I would say, like, entry and just like go for it and kind of all guns blazing, but isn't that good. But he can get, some off the cuff kills. Like, he can create openings and he can create space on a map, but he's not, I don't think he's consistent enough for a top 20 team. I think he needs to maybe look at some lower teams and kind of prove himself. Someone like not even a Nip. I don't think Nip would even take him. I think like a B8 or M80 or someone like that maybe could use him. But even then, we're kind of clutching at straws a little bit. I would take him if I was
what about G2 for Hunter? That could be.
No.
No, is that too?
I'd rather have Hunter all day.
Yeah. Mate, I just feel like Hunter's just got away with murder for so long.
I mean,
it's bizarre that he's not even stood. Did he stand in for anyone, Madden? Have I missed something? Like, did he actually, like, whilst he's been on the bench, has he done anything? I may have missed it. He may have like stood in for someone random.
No, mate, he's not been anywhere. Mate, that's crazy. He just went from Ents to Falcons, and because they bought the whole roster, didn't they? And he's not really played much.
Oh, bizarre.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. I don't think we need to, go too on it. The other thing that happened since our last episode was the map update for the game and the release of some new maps into the pool. We're not going to talk about those maps because we haven't had a chance to play.
He has played, by the way. Part he played for.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. What tournament was that? CCT or something?
CCT. He played Blast Bounty for Heroic before that.
Okay, that
Yeah,
that does ring a bell, maybe.
January.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was on heroic with some bias and pretty much the squad that are on heroic now.
Okay. Interesting. Makes sense then. That and it does ring a bit of a bell. The heroic thing now. Anyway, new maps and updates. Yeah. So haven't played them, but I just thought, are you excited to jump in and give any of them a go? Have you watched any of the videos about them? I watched a couple of videos just to see about it and stuff. But any vibes, any feelings on it all?
No, I've not heard loads about them. Not heard much hype. They released some maps. When was the last time they released some maps? A few months ago, maybe a year ago. We played them when they first came out. We played them a few
Yeah, it
times.
was like the Greek looking one, and like the yeah.
Yeah.
But mate, they put like a bloody funfair one and stuff now.
Yeah, I saw the screenshots of it, and I was excited for about 10 seconds
And then you just wanted your
when I saw it, and then I
anti-cheat.
just continued with my life and kind of forgot about it.
Bring back Overpass and put cash in and shut up.
No, I do like that they're bringing new maps out.
I
and
agree.
stuff,
It is
but
good. It keeps
I'm
it.
just not playing enough Counter-Strike to be like, give me a new map. I don't play enough. That's my fault. It's on me. It's not on anyone else. It's all on me. I need to play more Counter-Strike. Well,
I second that. Well, I mean, technically you're higher ranked than me, so maybe I need to be playing more Counter Strike. So that's, not that I'm not that bitter, guys, at all.
If I played more Counter-Strike, my rank would probably drop. So maybe I just sit here and wait to see if you catch me up, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll de-rank now.
All right. I think I'm gonna have to wrap this up relatively quick. Just because my wife's on to me, if I'm being genuine with you.
I think we've covered all the topics, mate. I've talked everyone's ear off about Astana, the S1mple return. It's all the juicy stuff, isn't it? We've not really got.
Always is, though, isn't it?
What else? We're gonna wrap up Dallas next time we talk. We've got what have we got? Vitality in the Mongols tonight, which you mentioned earlier. We currently have G2 3D Max versus Game Legion Furia. That's the lower final. No one cares. So are we both saying? I'm just gonna go out there and say Falcons are gonna win it.
Okay.
Vitality look a bit chill. They look a little bit like they're not bothered.
Got their one eye on the.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
They might want Falcons to win it so they don't kind of jinx themselves and be like, yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
I'm sure Vitality will win it, but let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Listen, let's go. Thanks as always for listening, guys. Like, subscribe, yada yada yada. We'll see you in the next round.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
GG.
GG's.